Good morning, Rocky Ford Christian Church. Hope you're having a good day on this Friday. Let's do our New City Catechism question. So question 14. Did God create us unable to keep his law? No, because of the disobedience of Adam and Eve, we are all born in sin and guilt, unable to keep God's law. So, let's look at our last thought in loving God with all of our heart for this week. We've been talking a lot about art. And what I want to challenge us and encourage us is art needs beauty with truth. As we look at the Word of God and we see how God says what he says, he does so in very creative and beautiful ways. I'd encourage you sometime, read the Word of God, especially some of the narratives, the Gospels, Luke, Mark, Matthew, John. Some of the Old Testament stories are amazing in this way, of Abraham and Moses and all of Exodus and things like that. But read them as literature. What I mean is look for those things that you were probably taught in your sophomore high school English class about metaphors and similes and foreshadowing and story arcs and all these things. And I'm not saying that these stories are not true or that there's not truth to be seen in these things. They are real stories about real men and women of God. They tell real serious truth, but God has also written these stories in a really beautiful way. And so the beauty of how it is written is really amazing, and I think can draw our hearts closer to God. When you read the Psalms as poetry and not just as kind of a line-on-line words, it speaks to the heart a little better. Proverbs has a rhythmic tone about it, like most of our fables do as well. And Song of Solomon is crazy poetic and is beautiful in how it says what it says. And so if we keep unrolling that and what we've talked about this week about how we are creative, about how you and I create, since we are made in the image of a creator God who's creative, that we want to create, that we are creative in our nature, then I would encourage us to realize the beauty of what we're saying along with the truth of what we're saying. That we value beauty. So when we're watching a movie, yes, we want it to be true. We want that narrative to be accurate. We talked about that yesterday. But we want the acting to be good. We want the lighting to be right. We want it to look beautiful, to be an enjoyable experience. That it doesn't watch like a textbook for an hour and 30 minutes. Beauty is good. God created beauty. And so taking time to make things beautiful is not a waste of time. It is instead trying to mirror what God is doing. That God didn't just create things in this does this fashion, although all of God's creation seems to be doing something to keep creation going. But it's a beautiful way about doing that. Butterflies are beautiful creatures. Trees are beautiful plants. They're not just there to accomplish a task, but some animals are cute, some are cuddly, some are fierce, but even fierce in a beautiful kind of ferocity. So I would encourage you, especially if you would define yourself as creative, I would encourage you to look to how God created the world and to reflect his truth and his beauty. I love you guys.